Tornadoes win.
Stop playing! Stop playing!
He connects. Rebels with their first lead of the night.
And the Andover Huskies are your section champion.
From Goodrich Field, home of the Anoka Tornadoes, I'm Joe Rulin. Thanks for joining us on this light broadcast on QCTV. Tonight, girls high school lacrosse coming your way as the Anoka Tornadoes with a mark of 2-7, taking on a very, very good team in terms of Chisago Lakes Wildcats. They come in with a mark of 8-1. They came off a pretty powerful win over Racori last night, 23-0. Meanwhile, for Anoka, that 2-7 start actually started 0-7, and they have put together a two-game win streak with wins over Spring Lake Park and Osseo Park Center. So they're getting that groove and the feel for it as well. The squads here getting ready to get themselves on the field. As you can see, Chisago Lakes, the Wildcats will be in the green, moving right to left. Head coach for Anoka will be Ellie Hendricks in her second season. And meanwhile, the head coach for Chisago and the Wildcats is Brent Eden. Brent Eaton, he's been there for quite some time, did some coaching through the youth system as well, and his daughter also on this squad as well. And you're going to get a chance to see a very powerful scoring attack here for the Wildcats as they are just about underway at midfield. The draw comes and face-off is underway, trying to control the ground ball. Now it's Chisago. It is also senior night here at Goodrich Field. We'll get you caught up on some of those roster changes and some of that celebration as we are just underway here in the first half of play. Moving it on the outside, controlling. That was Sydney Kirkhout with it. Moves it back behind. She's the midi. Now puts it in possession there of Peterson momentarily. Goes back to the X position where the Wildcats will take it over and maintain possession. Wildcats come in, putting up some pretty impressive offensive numbers on the season, and they score that first goal, first scoring opportunity, and a good alley there. And it is the Wildcats who will strike first. Anoka came in here, as I mentioned, with a mark of 2-7. And most recently a 9-7 win over OPC. Anoka had unfortunately been outscored this season, 129-65. And the downspell so far this season has been that first half. They've been outscored, Anoka 63-24 in the first half. Right now, down 1-0. As the Wildcats get on the board first, they win that face-off and the ground ball. Take it down low, miss a pass into the corner. And possession here will, I believe, be awarded to Anoka as they work their way up. Up near midfield. Getting a little playing time tonight is also Bree Brenner, number 40. She is coming off a painful ACL injury. I'll see if she's still out there. I know they were concerned just how much time she would get as she started. On the transition after a turnover by Anoka. Picked up now down low and working along the 12. Setting it up. That was Kirko. And now that's Peterson working around the 12-meter. Strolling back, being pushed back defensively. That's Vogelsang. Down low, and now trying to pull the trigger on a shot. No alley to do so. But he put it down low to the side in the corner. Chisago Lakes 8-1. Already with a 1-0 lead here in the opening minutes versus Anoka. Anoka in the white. Tornadoes trying to disrupt a little inside the 8. Good defensive foot there, but they're going to call a foul here. It's going to be whistled on Anoka, so it's going to be an 8-meter penalty shot here for Chisago. Ready for that whistle. Shot here. Looks like a good save after the shot taken there by number 5. And Allie Nelson now back up front. Now one time, looking like she was going to do a catch and release. Turns, fires, pulls the trigger on a shot. And that save is made by Callie Kicker Olsen. Back around the perimeter with possession. Here come the Wildcats. Down low, miss on that pass, but it's regathered back near the side of the net by an attacker. Mitty now trying to pick up and work with it here. And that was Peterson. Now she'll lose it on the transition, loss of possession. Comes back to Anoka. Here they come on the run. Tornadoes trying to create a little momentum early on here. Dropping it back down low. And now try to take it to the corner where they lose possession. They battle for it, pick it back up again. And here they come in motion now. Yelly there. Put a good shot on and a pretty impressive save. In goal, by the way, for Chisago Lakes as well is Laura Carlson. She's a freshman. She played last year as an 8th grader. And she made the first team all-conference in the Mississippi 8. Very impressive for an 8th grader. Meanwhile, again, that's Laura Carlson in goal. She made a beautiful save there to rob the Tornadoes of a good scoring opportunity. 1-0 lead here for the Wildcats. Just underway, 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Here comes Anoka. Turns, fires, goal! Good pivot move. Snapped off the shot. And that'll go to number 1 and Samantha Jensen, her 7th of the season. Jensen was bound and determined to be able to pull the trigger on that shot, and she showed that burst, got out in front at about the 8-meter circle and fired off shots. And if you're going to beat Carlson, that's a quality shot. So 1-1 in the first, getting it off the draw, controlling here. That's Lauren Schmidt. Now down low, first shot there, saved, turned away. Nice opportunity there, denied by kicker Olsen. Insack trying to move around the defense. That's Ellie Nelson. Couple of passes around the perimeter, back to Nelson. Now to the far side. I believe that's to Wells. Wells is second in the team in scoring for the Wildcats. Number 19 has 20 goals, 15 assists. Working it down the seam and now trying to find an open area. A pass there disrupted. Nice play by the Anoka defense. And here they come on the transition. A forced turnover from behind. Forced the ball to the ground. Anoka had it momentarily, could not pick up the pass, and then move a chance. A breakaway, an opportunity. Here come the Tornadoes on the move. Shot, saved, right at the foot there and denied. Sprinting in full throttle. On that scoring opportunity, there was Taylor Paquette. Paquette with 5 goals, trying to make it 6. But Carlson denied. Thanks for joining us on QCTV, Friday Night Lights. Right now it's just Friday night and sunlight. Shot there, turned away, point blank opportunity. Good technique, good position there by Carlson as she squared up on that shot that came in from Anoka, and that was Krakel. See some cutters right now just inside. Near that crease and coming back out. Krakel tries to pick it back up, but her teammate has it instead. Moves it along, tries to maneuver. Finds a shot that's just wide of the mark. It collected in possession, I believe, will remain with Anoka. It does in that X position. Paquette had it there momentarily. Now sends it over to Yelly. Yelly had it. She had it bounced out of her cradle. And it controls now. And here's a evolving move inside and bouncing back to the outside. That is Krakel. Krakel looking for a cutter. Now drifts it back. A shot taken there. Save is made. And a shot taken by Hennis. That shot again denied. So I've counted about 5 shots on goal for Anoka. Just one. They've been able to get by that. I call her a KG veteran as a freshman. In front, a ground ball looking for possession. That's going to come up in favor here, and they are going to give possession. Looks like to Anoka in the corner. Nope, it goes back to Chisago Lakes. And now a ground ball trying to pick up that possession. Well done there by Lauren Schmidt. Schmidt tries to move it ahead. She gets it, puts it in the stick of Nelson. And a quick shot and a save by, no, that's a goal I made it by. Quick flick of the wrist by Nelson. Lost that ball momentarily, but Nelson lights the lamp. Allie Nelson collects her 13th goal of the season. It is now the 2-1 lead. Favor the Wildcats. Good burst of speed here. Here they come, the Tornadoes, and slapped out of the stick of the Tornado player, making a run. Wow. I thought we may have a whistle. Came through with a burst of speed. Now back and trying to reciprocate that run. Chisago Lakes a 2-1 lead. Pass out front, easily corralled there by Kaylee Kicker Olsen. Kicker Olsen came in with a goals against of 12. Save percentage of about .420. A run back the other way. Off the net, off the save there by Carlson. Running it down was Krakel to hold possession. In the X spot now behind. Centering lofty pass here way above the stick. As you saw Yelly that time try to elevate to bring that thing down, but she could now. Losing possession, now trying to pick it back up. Nelson, she gets it the second time around, and now back on the near side run on the spot here is, looks like that may be Pelkey. Got a whistle, and it looks that Anoka is awarded. Oh no, it goes back now to, the Wildcats, and now it's down low. A deflection goes to the side of the net, scooped up there by Kicker Olsen. Tornadoes putting some pressure on, and they've had about 4 good quality shots. Carlson, the freshman goalie, has turned all of them away except for one. controlling. Now with it. Deep, that was Peterson. Peterson tried to pass over to Nelson. They'll call the foul there on Anoka. She'll get a run from the... There it goes from the 12, and now a hard shot. Nelson. Save is made. Turned away by kicker Olsen. Beautiful job. She secures it. Looks for the outlet. Gets it. Puts it right. Right in stride there to her teammate, and here comes a big run. Near side, Paquette is going to try to give a burst here. Cuts back. Looks in front. Inside the 8, pulled the trigger. Unable to put it on net, but on the far side, picking it up and trying to hold possession. There is Woody. Woody had it knocked from her stick, and now a whistle by the officials with 13 minutes to go. A fast-moving first half, almost midway through the first half here. We're now officially just under 13 to go. 2-1 lead for the Wildcats from Chisago Lakes. 8-1 coming in. On the doorstep, a pass there just turned away at the last minute as Nelson could not control it. Quick in and out. You can see number 40 coming on the field, and boy, it's just got to be a reward for her on this senior night. As number 40, Bree Brenner. She's been out all season due to an ACL injury from volleyball, and also during kind of a football game they had in the fall. This will be her first time, it is tonight, in a game since this whole season, as she's been trying to rehab that ACL. So they're going to give her some short runs out there, and trust me, having a couple of ACL procedures. And on these turfs, you want to make sure you have confidence. A deflection, loose change picked up out of midair that time by Laura Carlson. Carlson came in with a record of 8-1 this season. She has an impressive goals against average of 3.67. Keep in mind, just a freshman. And last year as an 8th grader, she was named to first team all conference, Mississippi 8. There you get a look down below. Anoka on the chase. Moving it low, and here comes a chance here for the Wildcats as they set it up on that far side. This is Pelkey. Pelkey tries to move it in tight and disrupted, turned away. Good play defensively, and securing it there was kicker Olsen. Long lead pass, could not get it to the midi that time, but picking up the ground ball, a loose change. Here come the Wildcats. Down low, left all alone, turn, fire, catch and release, and a save. Beautiful save. Right on the doorstep was one of the Wildcats, but kicker Olsen did a great job of holding that possession and making that save, securing it. Now here we go. It's Anoka tried to work their way out, turned it over. Now on the doorstep, a shot and a score. That was a one-timer after a catch in that cross and then firing it past kicker Olsen. Wanted to get set on the goal score. That was Pelkey. Thanks a lot to our public address announcer. She could give me a hand on the update, and also that first goal was scored by Peterson for the Wildcats. So it's now a 3-1 lead for this explosive offensive attack for Chisago Lakes. Again, they had 3 games. This is the 3rd game this week. 22 win over Sartell, and then a 23-0 win last night versus Rocori. Shot that makes its way to the far corner. Good scoop up for the ball. There was Schmidt. Working it around the perimeter. And down low here's the Tornadoes are trying to make it 3 wins in a row here. As I mentioned the last 2 times out, a win versus Spring Lake Park in OPC. Turning, fire, trying to find a open venue there. It's lofted high in the air and back into possession. Now here comes Anoka. Temporarily knocked from the stick and pushed from behind. We'll get a whistle here. Boy, that was a hard fall. But back up and at it, that was Abby Moore who took the brunt of that. Quickly out is Adriana Herr, and also Schmidt. Schmidt is out. She had 3 goals and 2 assists versus Ricori last night. Top scorers for the Tornadoes include Leah Alm, number 13. She's had an impressive season, 17 goals, 2 assists. And Tony Alm. Paquette was bounced there momentarily, then lost possession. Now picks it back up on the ground ball, but they call a whistle there and a foul called on the Tornadoes. A chance now as they're trying to find a little opening to get that 4th goal. The Wildcats cut inside. What a burst of speed there. Tries a quick backhand. When she did, it was moved out of her stick. Controlled still there by the Wildcats. Initially, that was Sarah Smith. Smith, by the way, Smith is the leading scorer, number 12 for this Wildcat squad. She tried to pick up the loose ball there. Penalties whistled there and the foul on the Wildcats. And Smith. Smith, by the way, has 24 goals, 7 assists, 31 points on the season, leads the squad. For the Wildcats, she will be playing lacrosse next year at Northwestern in St. Paul. Moving it down, here comes that burst again of Smith. Smith set up, gets around the defense, puts a backhanded down low, trying to go under the garage door. That's stopped and deflected. And it looks like it will be awarded. It will stay in possession with Chisago Lakes. Side of the net, lofted back, trying to come out front, pulled the trigger, shot here, turned away. Some good crisp passing that time by the Wildcats, created a good scoring opportunity. Back in is now Sydney Kirkhow for the Wildcats. Wildcats this season, 126 goals. They've only surrendered 34. Shot there, deflected, and there for the rebound as it flopped in the air and securing it. Kicker Olsen. A good outlet pass there, but just misses the stick of Anoka, and one of the players is down on the turf there for the Wildcats. A timeout has been whistled by the squads here, and this one is going to be whistled by Chicago Lakes head coach Brent Eaton. Just to get you caught up, rankings right now, not rankings, but in terms of conference play. Chisago Lakes currently in first place of the Mississippi 8. Last season they had an impressive record as well. Last year they had posted a record of 12-3. Their season ended in a Section 7 playoff loss to Centennial. Having a chance to speak with Ellie Henricks, the head coach for Anoka, before the game. She's like, hey, we see some great progress, and we're seeing growth with that program as well here at Anoka. In her first year, 2 years ago, she said we had 38 players in lacrosse, and this year we had 62. So indeed you see the growth, and you're starting to see the development as well. Record of 2-7. Again, they have put together a 2-game win streak. Their last 2 games against Spring Lake Park and OPC. Some players that she's been talking about also was Layla Alm. She has stepped up as a leader on the field immensely this season. You can see it with those stats. She has 17 goals, 2 assists. Now keep in mind, they are missing the presence of Tony Alm as well. Tony Alm, 10 goals on the season. Tony and Layla will be gone for this weekend as they are going to be participating in the Costa Rica. They are on the Costa Rica hockey team, national hockey team. And that tournament is taking place this weekend. Tony left already. Layla will immediately after this game. So both teams break a huddle. 3-1 lead. Favor of Chisago Lakes. The Wildcats scored first on a goal by Peterson. Then Nelson tallied the goal. And then the third goal was scored by Kayla Pelkey. Pelkey also had a goal last night versus Ricori, but Pelkey's goal tonight makes that goal number 4 for her on the season. Back in play. We approach 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. Thank you for joining us on QCTV. I know Ryan and Mike are back at the studio. Below now, Anoka trying to really break out of their own end with a lot of pressure. Good pass here, outlet ahead, forging. With it now is Sydney Meyer. Sydney Meyer, look out, she's dangerous. 10 goals, 1 assist. This season, that loose ball picked up by Jensen. Jensen has the lone goal for Anoka. And we've got a whistle and a yellow card has been issued here. So Anoka will go up 1 player, a 1-player advantage here. And a yellow card has been issued. Let's see it better here, 19. And Skylar Wells will lose their second leading scorer for a couple of minutes here and see if Anoka can cut into this deficit. 5:20 to go. First half, they look inside to a cutter. Cannot, it eludes the stick there, deflected there. It was Cindy Kirkhow initially. Stand corrected, Yelly, who had the opportunity. Carlson has been stellar in goal. The freshman has turned away all but one of the shots. Good forced turnover that time, and it's picked up on the bounce by Anoka, and that's Jenna Greco who had it. No whistle once again. That's going to go against the Wildcats. Down low now, trying to move it around and get an avenue that they can actually take a quality shot. A lot of contact, and finally a couple of players go down, lose possession. It flies out of the stick of the Wildcat player. Anoka also has a player that goes down. There'll be a push. And that is Sam Jansen. Jensen took that hard fall. Approaching 4 minutes to go in this first half. It remains a 3-1 lead for the Wildcats, 8-1. Taking on Anoka on senior night here at Goodrich Stadium, home of the Tornadoes. Low shot and a goal. She slid that under the garage door. Faked one move on Carlson. She made a burst of a move and right in front of her slid that below the stick. A crafty move, and the score there goes to Layla Alm. Team leader in goals, now has 18 on the season. And keep in mind, after this game tonight, she leaves for the Costa Rica national hockey team, and their event coming up this weekend. Look at this burst move. Just enough to get a clear shot, and inside slipped it under the stick of Carlson. And for Carlson, that's an anomaly. She does not allow a lot of goals. In fact, her goals against average is just at 3. Just what Anoka needed the Tornadoes, and head coach Ellie Henrik says she needed to cut into this deficit. They've done it. They're within 1 now, 3-2 deficit. They're able to take advantage of that yellow card, and still, well, now that time has come up and she's back on the field. That is number 19 who was serving. That was Skylar Wells. She packs a lot of punch offensively, does Wells. As I mentioned earlier, she's second on the team in goals. Looking for an opportunity, will not have one. Anoka's taking it up a notch. They're going to move it down. But now it's disrupted, and a turnover. Comes the speed of the Wildcats down the near sideline. Setting it up and head back in. Defensively there for the Wildcats was number 10. Now moving it down below, trying to gain back that 2-goal lead here before the half. You're getting a look there. Dropping it back down. That's Peterson, who scored the first goal with it. Plops up. Regains possession. Now they're going to call a push. And goes against Sydney Meyer. Race to the ball. The ground ball controlled. Good job that time. Again by Layla Alm. She's shown the burst and then knocked out of her stick. They're going to say it was a bit high, so they're going to call the Wildcats for the foul. Paquette picks up the loose change, the ground ball. Takes it to the X position. Now sets it back behind. Layla Alm is kind of engineering the play, giving some instruction. Meanwhile, the teammate picks it up there as Woody. Woody circles, still on the perimeter. 90 seconds left in this first half. And on this possession, Anoka could tie it up. They do! A catch and release. A beautiful pass from behind the net by Paquette. She set the table, and Samantha Jensen picks up her second goal of the game. Look at this beautiful pass, clean reception, catch and release, boom. That's how you have to score and pass and execute against such a good goalie in Carlson. She couldn't react quick enough. Clean pass, crisp pass, handled it with confidence, and Jensen buried it. Catch and release just a week after the fishing opener. 1:26 to go, and we are knotted up at 3 apiece. What an effort. That's a big momentum swing here in the last 3 minutes. That yellow card that was taken by the Wildcats allowed the Anoka team to get that one player up, and they took advantage of it and created some momentum. Back the other way. A save is made. A point-blank opportunity there. Olsen, kicker Olsen, did a great job of standing her ground. To the side. Then here come the Wildcats. Again, this is a team that has put up 126 goals on the season. Controlled here, and a whistle, and 43 seconds remains. It stops because we're below 2 minutes here, so they'll reset. Wildcats control, working around the perimeter after the whistle. Now trying to find an opening inside. Peterson trying to get a gap or an alley to take a shot. Well defended there by the Tornadoes. She kicks it back out to the wing, and that's Smith. Look out, she is dangerous. Again, she is the top go-getter, top point getter. She tries to cut inside, denied nicely there on defense. Tornado taking it up a notch. Number 4 was on defense there for Anoka, who turned Olsen away. 2 seconds, 1 second, and we are tied as we come to the half. What a great game on senior night. Girls High School Lacrosse as Anoka is hosting Chisago Lakes and the Wildcats, and we are tied at 3-3 as we go to half. We'll return for the second half of this exciting matchup. But first, we'll send it back to the studio.
Napkins, tea bags, and orange peels can be organically recycled. In addition, you can also recycle
food scraps like fruit and vegetables, meat, fish and bones, baked goods, eggshells, dairy products, and even coffee grounds. Also, food soiled paper, including pizza boxes and paper egg cartons. For more information on organic recycling, check with your city to sign up.
Welcome to At the Half, the show where we take a closer look at some of our area high school sports. I'm your host, Mary Kilikai. As the snow melts and the sunny days return, the Anoka boys tennis team heads back to the courts. Head coach Eric Bertram hopes his team experiences more than just wins and losses.
We lost 7 seniors from last year, so that's a lot to fill. And it's really cool because the group this year is coming together and figuring it out. Players are playing wherever they need to play, and they are embracing it. And it's not always the easiest or most fun, but you know, we're working hard and playing hard. And we got a couple wins this weekend, which was really cool. A lot of first varsity wins. So.
Yeah, we lost a lot of seniors. I think us 3 are the only returning varsity members this year, so we have a lot of young kids, a lot of new fresh faces.
Yeah, it's been, it started off a little weak, but we've grown and we've progressed as a team, and I think we're going to play really good this year.
My whole family kind of played tennis, and my brother was in it at the high school, so I decided to join. It's like a team sport, but you get to play a ton. You get that one-on-one time.
This team in particular is just an amazing group of student athletes that really have each other's back. They show kindness, they show toughness, and they show everything that we want them to be working on within themselves going forward after tennis. And hopefully they play it the rest of their life, but this is a special team from that dynamic. I don't know how many wins, but from just how they treat each other and treat their opponents and how hard they work. This is a really special group this year.
It's a big mental battle to play, and when you have teammates there, you can rely on them when you're playing and when you're in your match, but also you got to play on your own.
It just kind of develops.
Yeah.
I think we're all just trying to do the best we can.
Yeah. Work with what we have, play our best matches.
So I'm an English teacher. Maya Angelou, you know, amazing American poet. I want to say she had a quote, something like, you'll forget, you know, sometimes what you did with people or what people said, but you rarely will forget how they made you feel. And that goes for how you treat your opponents and your team and coaches and opposing you know. But those are the things that kind of transcend the sport, that make it accessible to their future. So that's what I love about coaching tennis and just coaching in general.
As part of the recent Anoka Hennepin Schools expansion efforts, Champlin Park was able to upgrade and expand their athletic facilities. We talked with their activities director, Matt Matson, about their new digs.
This goes back probably 6-7 years ago. We started a 10-year plan for our softball and baseball fields here at Champlin Park. And you can tell right now behind me there's a beautiful grandstand. Thanks to generous donations from Champlin Park Baseball Association. We couldn't get this done without them, and obviously our hardworking booster club, you know, and our head coach Ryan Tome as well. We sat down 6-7 years ago. It was actually former baseball coach Corey Davis, myself, a group from Champlain Park Baseball Association, our booster club, and we laid out a 10-year plan for mostly, looking at our baseball and our softball complex and what we could do to help our student athletes here have a better experience, bring us from wooden bleachers in the old days up to something that looks like this behind me, and we're just super excited to get that rolling. Our first major project for both fields was to add lights, and a Twins grant helped us with that, along with our booster club and Champlain Park Baseball Association. So it's a project that continues to develop. I think the next big one is to finish up a grandstand-like area at our softball field, and then maybe some indoor batting cages / storage facility here on the property. As the weather improves, I know my softball coach, my baseball coach with lights, they're looking to play night games, get the community involved, get some more, of our youth athletes out to watch the high school kids. And by having lights, that allows us to have those 6:30 starts, 7 o'clock starts, and gets a little bit more of that community enjoyment. And obviously playing under the lights, it's a special feeling for those kids, and I know the parents like it as well. I think, when people are out on a late night jog or stroll with their kids and the strollers are going by and 7 at night, they might just stop in and watch an inning or two. Maybe in the past, they wouldn't get that opportunity with games being at 4 o'clock, and now you've been able to bring that to the entire community. Definitely even summer baseball. You're looking at VFW, Legion, those areas getting to use this place, maybe host some bigger tournaments now that you have a bigger grandstand and some access to those items. So yeah, we're just looking forward to showcasing it to everybody out there. Going to be fantastic. The boosters are putting in a sound system, so we're going to have, it's going to be like a Major League Baseball game. You can walk up, hear the starting lineup, get names announced, music playing, so we're super excited to showcase our students.
Here is the latest update with the Andover robotics team, the Butler Bots. Following a year of hard work, innovation, and troubleshooting, the Butler Bots are primed to take their skills to future endeavors.
My name is Travis Gross. I am a senior here at Andover High School. Working on a team in robotics here, it's a lot to manage. We have a few different groups of people. I'm a coder, programmer, so I have a few of the new people. I've been teaching them throughout the season how to code. And then we've got people who fabricate stuff mostly. That's honestly most of the people here. Michael does most of the CAD design, 3D modeling to plan out the robot, and then we got Emma and Jake. They work on acrylics and stickers and stuff for our sponsors. So we got our little niche, pretty decent at it, and it works well.
So I'm Emma Lycano. I'm a senior. I've been here since my freshman year. Compared to doing absolutely nothing to actually being in charge of managing and acrylic stuff, so that's amazing. So we first start off with a rough draft, and then we put it on we grab a sheet of board. It depends on whatever thickness we want, and then we put whatever our rough draft on it. Otherwise, if we're gonna laser cut it, we put it in the computer. We set all the stuff and then we cut it. And then most of the time it's gonna be bent, so we have this metal bender, then we heat it up and then we just bend it like crazy.
I'm Dylan. I am a senior. I mostly just help out, otherwise I helped with the climbing on. I did a lot of CNC stuff or the printer stuff in the other room. So I did that, then I just helped out around here. I might do something along the lines of college. So that I do a lot of stuff like this at home. So I usually just fix tractors and stuff, and then I build mini bikes and stuff.
I'm Michael Anderson. We're currently in the tech wing of Andover High School. This is my senior year with robotics. I started with a class I chose as an elective, design and fab, where I was doing 3D modeling, and I thought that was very fun just to 3D model, and that's what got me into robotics. I was 3D modeling for robotics, and I still do that. I have a preliminary model of the robot back there, and that's what really drew me into robotics, then the free food.
That's it for this edition of At the Half. As always, keep up to date with all that's happening in the cities of Andover, Anoka, Champlin, and Ramsey by following our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube account. Thank you for watching.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome back to Goodrich Field, home of the Anoka Tornadoes. Tonight, it's women's high school lacrosse as Anoka and Chisago Lake Wildcats are knotted up at 3 apiece. Welcome. I'm Joe, rolling along on the camera. We've got Noel, and also Andy just in front in speaker-like form, shooting a couple of cameras. And back at the studio, it's Ryan and Mike. This has been an exciting game because season's quickly wrapping up, and this is seniors night, right? And you heard a lot from some of the seniors saying, this goes fast, enjoy it. It's going fast because after tonight's game for Anoka, there's a record of 2-7. They just have 2 remaining games. Meanwhile, for Chisago Lakes, after tonight's game, they have 3 remaining games. Chisago Lakes in with a mark of 8-1, currently in first place in the Mississippi 8 Conference. Goals for Anoka as we're just underway. The draw takes place. Anoka making a move down below. But Layla Alm scored a goal. Meanwhile, 2 goals. Right now, they're kind of bookend goals by Sam Jensen with goal number 7 and 8. She had the tying goal. Tried to get back out in front to hit Alm. Layla Alm. A rebound. Again, they're coming out with some fire and vengeance. The Tornadoes moving it back and trying to find an opportunity to pull the trigger there. And the whistle called on the Wildcats. Yelly that time was trying to find an opening. As we are just underway in the second half. Tornadoes, 2 unanswered goals with just under 3 minutes to go in that first half. That tied it. The last goal by Sam Jensen was the tying goal. They continue. It's Jensen with it, the senior. Looks out front, tries a little give and go, cannot connect with the cutter. Battling for the ground ball. There's Layla Alm digging it in. Also coming over to help out. Seeing some of the play there from Marie Way. Now back. As the Wildcats try to catch Anoka on the transition. It is awarded to the Wildcats. A good crisp pass inside to a cutter. Now staying, bounce back out to the perimeter there, number 11. That's Adriana Herr. We haven't heard from Sarah Smith, the leading scorer on the squad. Done a good job of containing her. She has 24 goals, 7 assists. Nor have we heard from their second leading scorer, and Skylar Wells for the Wildcats, and she has 20 goals, 15 assists. There's Smith right now trying to make her way in, and she's boxed up and bracketed there, and a whistle is called. A whistle blown, rather, and foul called, and this will probably be an 8-meter penalty shot. It will. Here comes Smith. We just spoke of her. Now a chance. In comes Smith, wedges off and tried to seal off the defender and then tuck one underneath of kicker Olsen, but denied as it was knocked loose. Good defensive play there by the Tornadoes. Olsen works the perimeter. On the wing now, throws it down low. Kicking it up top. Now cutting back in front, and Olsen capitalizes. A little quick give and go and reunited with the ball. She buried it. Good timing play. I stand corrected. That was not Smith, but number 19, and Skylar Wells. Look at this passing right in front, makes a quick cut. They kind of lost track of her behind the net, and she was in that X spot coming from that X position, and Skylar Wells lights the lamp. 21st goal of the season for Skylar. And there you saw the assist. That certainly will go to number 11. For Chisago, and number 11 is her. So back up top, as Anoka has tied this contest just before half, but now it's Chisago Lakes who's regained and captured that lead. Just a 1-goal lead. Anoka came back from a 2-goal deficit, so do not count them out, especially here at Goodrich Field, their home turf. And on senior night, cutting in front, quick move there, shot. It looked like it was deflected, but pulling the trigger and getting it over top of the stick of kicker Olsen that time was Smith. I guess I said her name enough times and she's finally scored. So Sarah Smith, the leading scorer, and we didn't hear from them in the first half. Their second leading scorer, Skylar Wells, they both score to open up the second half. You can see this burst getting by the defense. Good replay, and didn't get everything out. It was almost like a changeup by the time she released that shot, but it was just good enough. As Sarah Smith, she's averaging 3 points per game. Picks up her 25th goal of the season there, and again, Skylar Wells just recently picked up the 21st. Winning the draw and getting possession back, such a key in this lacrosse game, and that allows Chisago Lakes to kind of hold possession and kind of set things up under their terms. In front, quick shot, beautiful save, turned away. Kicker Olsen, the senior, makes a great save. You didn't want to be down by 3 to this Wildcats offense. Back up top, trying to regain. That was Cameron Peterson. She walks in, shot taken, whistle is blown, and we will get clarification. Approaching 20 minutes to go here in the second half. A matchup that was tied 3-3 at half. But to start the second half, we've seen the top 2 scorers, Skylar Wells and Sarah Smith. And now another goal. Beautiful passing, rotation, ball movement. And the Wildcats have opened up their largest lead of the game here at 6-3. I believe that's going to go to Peterson right here. She moves in, but before that there was some good movement and rotation around the perimeter, and finally just a burst of speed. Peterson picks up her second goal here. She had the first goal this evening. And now it is a 6-3 lead for Chisago Lakes. They came in with a mark of 8-1. This is their third game this week. Cut it in front. Now in front, drop pass there. Could not connect. But picking it back up and in the act position. That is Senny. Trying to get in front. Now here comes Peterson with another run. Puts this shot just wide. The stick was hit that time. Across just before she was getting ready to take that shot. Hit from behind. Good defensive play by Anoka. Bringing it out from the side now to the perimeter. To the far wing. Holding it there is Allie Nelson. She has a goal. Back to Peterson with 2. There's a shot to the head. They're waiting to call this foul here, and they do. Finally, they'll reset. And I think Peterson will get possession of the ball, and then Anoka will stand behind. That goes against Sam Jensen. I think. Or is it 10 for Anoka? Nonetheless, we'll play it here, and Peterson takes the shot, and it bounces between the legs, but does not get through the legs there of kicker Olsen. Huge save. Now they need a good outlet pass and get a chance to get on some offense. But right now, they've been Wildcats have been buzzing. Good job of picking up the loose ball there by Anoka up beyond midfield. Now bunts ahead. Layla has it here, turns, fires low. Oh, she cashed that in a hurry. Bing, bang, boom, that thing was done. It all started, but Layla Alm picks up her second goal of the game. And it all started really on a possession and an outlet pass down in the Anoka end. They hustled it up. Layla Alm picks up her 19th goal of the season. And you can see it all happen here. Great. Thank you for picking that up. There you see number 11. For Anoka working it out of her own end. Getting an assist. Maybe she'll get the assist after a torn ACL out most of the season. And maybe they can get that assist on a beautiful pass up, turning, spinning, and making that play. And it looks like Bree Brunner was one of the key players there, but Sydney Meyer also did a good job of bringing that ball up from her own end. Getting it to Brunner. Brunner ahead to Layla Alm, and Layla Alm picks up her 19th goal of the season. And just like that, the Tornadoes are back at it. Good spin move there, turned away at the last minute. Sydney Meyer, she has 12 goals this season. She'll get it again. She'll get a run here. Penalty shot opportunity. Moves in, takes the shot, scores, and just like that, it's back to within one goal. Meyer lasers this one by a very skilled goalie in Carlson, the freshman. First team all-conference last year as an 8th grader. But it's been Anoka who's been able to beat Nokos. Has scored 2 straight goals here now to bring this back to just a 1-goal deficit at 6-5. Sydney Meyer will pick up her 11th goal of the season. Winning that draw, oh, so significant. Jensen, who has 2 goals already for Anoka. Looking to the cutter. Paquette was there momentarily. She goes down below. There's Brunner. Again, this is just her first game back, and she's doing fantastic considering of that ACL surgery and injury she had. In my understanding was, I believe it was October when that injury occurred. There's a slap on the stick, and they're going to say probably a little too violent on that slap. And now they're going to just set it back up, and possession will go. Yep, it will go to Sarah Smith. And the Wildcats, they need to reclaim. They have had a 3-goal lead, their largest already here in this half. But Anoka struck back quickly. One by Alm and one by Myers. Shot in front, hit the post, I believe. That thing came right off. Now gathering it in there is kicker Olsen. She, the senior, sends it right down the field and tries to get the outlet. Good possession, good battle there by Jensen. Sam Jensen negotiates her way down the field, looking for that ball. Sometimes when it's right between your legs, it's the toughest place to find it. That was Jenna Craigall trying to locate the ball there. Set up, and here comes the Wildcats. Pure speed right there on the near side. Stopping, pulling back. Looking for an opening. That's McKenna Olson. She had a goal in the game yesterday versus Record. Moving it back, Skylar Wells, by the way, had 4 goals yesterday, and Avon McCurdy, number 22, had 3 goals. Cutting in front of the goal. Quickly countering that time, reciprocating the 2 goals from Anoka. And lighting the lamp here, he's going to be number 8. Picking up the goal, good. Move, getting good position, sealed off that time Sam Jensen as she was getting ready to take the shot. And doing so well, scoring there. Number 8 is Caitlin Anderson. For Caitlin Anderson, actually, that's her first goal of the season. That goal is number 7 for Chisago Lakes. That means they open up that 2-goal lead once again. It's been a game of spurts. The Wildcats in the green from Chisago Lakes. They've scored a couple. They had 3 in a row at one point here in the second half, and then Anoka countered with 2 of their own. Sydney Meyer and Layla Alm countered. Now chance, fire and shot, goal! Making that spin move. Getting that advantage by that quick move and kind of getting that elbow to leverage a cut right in front of the net. I believe that's going to be Senny picking up the goal. Kiana Senny, that's her 14th goal of the season. Her first here tonight. And I'm beginning to see a pattern, right? 2 goals in a row here now for Chisago Lakes. And let's see who can win this draw. Good coverage, good camera shots down below by Andy and Noel. Down and wheeling at the perimeter on the wing. Kicks it back out now to the front. To the top of the perimeter, working it to the far side. On the wing, looking down low. This is where they like to make that quick cut. In front, they take the shot and it scores. Snapping that off in a hurry. And picking up her second goal of the night is going to be Allie Nelson. She had 2 goals last night against Ricori, and it looks like she's got a little injury and it's going to require her to be carried off the field. Just as she took that shot, you could see that that foot kind of came inward. Here's another look. She took the shot, and when she landed with that right foot, she landed right on the foot of one of the Anoka defenders. All incidental, but nonetheless, she needed to be carried off, but not before. Nelson picks up goal number 14 on the season, her second tonight. So it happened earlier here in the second half, 3 goals in a row. And you get a look there at Nelson. It's now a 9. They're signaling something where the official is on this play. I think they're waving off that goal. And probably a good timeout there by the Anoka coach. Ellie will take that timeout and kind of regroup as the goal now has been waved off. So making an injury probably seem a little worse as Allie Nelson now waved off, and she is on the bench. Just giving her a little ice on that ankle. Well, as we mentioned for these 2 teams, coming in Anoka, a mark of 2-7. After tonight's game, the Tornadoes have just 2 games remaining. That's Maple Grove on Monday and Elk River on Wednesday. For Chisago Lakes, after tonight, they have a game in Tartan, North St. Paul. That's on Monday, the 23rd. Becker, the 24th, May 24th. And then with Big Lake, those last 3 games are all at home with Chisago Lakes High School. Again, those are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, wrapping up the season on the 26th. So then they'll do their seeding and rankings, the coaches will. That's Saturday, next weekend, on Memorial Weekend, so they can kind of begin play almost immediately on the 26th, probably right around, perhaps the next day, right after the Memorial Weekend. And then it moves fast through Section 7. Section 7 is very stellar. You've got the Andover Huskies with just one loss. They're handling 1-1 in that Section 7. Also, they've played well. Maple Grove, they'll be in Section 6, I believe, on that. It's not there, but then you also have another team that really has come on strong. That's Robbinsdale Armstrong. They were ranked number 8 in the state, but they took 2 losses, back-to-back games. Robbinsdale Armstrong. They lost to Elk River, and they've lost to Andover last week, so I'm sure that'll drop them below, but nonetheless a very competitive Section 7, including Elk River as well. And Champlain Park, you must not forget. Timeout is over. Anoka was able to get within 1 goal. They tied it just before half on the goal by Jensen. That made it 3-3 at half. And then Chisago Lakes came out with 3 goals unanswered until Anoka picked up a couple, one by Myers and the other by Layla Alm, her 19th goal of the season. Chisago Lakes answered with a couple more, and hence they have the 8-5 lead here. As we're back under play with 13:50 to go. Here comes Myers, moves it on down, tried to get at the Brunner. What heart and desire for her to be out there. Bree Brunner. And she's contributing as well, I believe, an assist tonight. Trying to, with a burst cut in front, turned away. Now, Anoka gets some time on offense. Trying to do some clean passing, and now stepping in front, coming back the other way on this transition. Beautiful anticipation. Here comes Chisago Lakes down. There's number 10, and it's knocked off of her stick at the last minute. Nice save defensively there by Hennis. Otherwise, she had a full run, number 10, for Chisago Lakes coming in. But a great anticipation and jumping that pass on the wing. Kicking it up, there's Peterson. Couple of goals for her tonight. It's an 8-5 lead. Chisago Lakes, the Wildcats, in possession of the ball, working the perimeter, and has that lead. Trying to cut quickly inside, sends it across to Peterson, takes a shot and scores. A one-timer, as she had to reach for that pass, was able to control it and get an accurate unleash of a shot. That put it by kicker Olsen. Kicker Olsen came into this game in goal with a mark of 2-5. He's logged over 300 minutes in 8 games this season. But now it's again 3 unanswered goals scored. Look at this move inside. Elevated there, walked the ladder to get the pass, receive it, and snapped off a quick one-timer shot. Did Peterson, her 3rd goal of the evening. For Peterson, that will be goals number 12, 13, and 14 on the season. There's 8-1 squad. They've been averaging 13 goals a game, the Wildcats. And right now they have 9. Trying to make the cut with Myers there, but a little too much out of her reach. Sydney Meyer. Whistle here comes with 12 minutes to go, just beyond the midway mark here of the second half. Again, the season in lacrosse goes so fast. And mentioned for the Tornadoes, just 2 games remaining. next week. And then they'll begin section play. Sam Jensen with 2 goals. Tries to get a quick pass to Myers. Good catch. Release. Shot. Save is made. Carlson stood fast and strong in front of that net. Nice shot by Jensen on a pass. Or by Myers on a pass by Jensen. There's a shot by Paquette there that time as she's whistled for the foul. So now the Wildcats will take position at about the 40. Possession there, and now it's moving it up ahead, and they have time on their side. A 4-goal lead. They have scored 6 goals here in the second half, and those goals have come with a dose of 3 goals at a time. Anoka countered earlier in the second half to cut that deficit to 6-5, but recently here's another chance for the Wildcats on an 8-meter penalty shot. Moving in, pulling the trigger. And the goal, kept it low, got that under the garage door. When it gets that low, sometimes it's going to get that bounce and that carom, and taking advantage of it there. And I believe that goes to Caitlin Anderson. Perhaps we'll get another look to see. And if so, that's her second goal. It's number 9 instead. I apologize. That would be Brooke Clems, her 5th goal, as we get a look on this 8-meter penalty shot. Boy, unless my eyes are failing, she came back off. It looked like 8 and it was 9. I think we'll give it to Clems. Brooke Clems, 4th straight goal now for Chisago. They are starting to open it up here on a Friday Night Lights women's high school lacrosse. Coming your way on QCTV. Joe Rulin on the mic. Andy and Noel doing some fabulous camera work, and thanks to Mike and Ryan back at the studio. Setting inside, now down low, cutting it back up front to the perimeter, disrupted there nicely by Myers. She seems to be all over Sydney Meyer, this field. Down to single digits remaining. Oh, she's taken down hard as Meyer. With 9:50 to go here in the second half, she gets up quickly. And that foul will be whistled on Chisago Lakes. Mentioned it earlier, but Chisago Lakes had outscored their opponents, counting with tonight 132 goals to 38. Impressive differential. They've only been allowing about 3 goals a game while scoring 13. Low shot there by Layla, just wide of the mark, and hustling after it was Carlson, the freshman goalie, and we'll see who they're going to award that ball to. Anoka had a very impressive first half, considering this season they had been outscored in the first half, the Tornadoes, 63-24. They were down at 1.31 in that first half, but they battled back. Getting a couple of goals by Sam Jensen. Her second one tied up the game at 3-3 just before half. The other goal scored by Layla Alm. Alm also has a second goal here in the second half. And the other goal has been by Sydney Meyer, her 11th of the season. Wildcats on transition, trying to win the race to the ball, and the loose ball, they'll be awarded it. Back in play, 8.5 to go here in this second half of play. Nelson had a goal earlier taken off the board, but she went to the bench. Carried actually off the field by her teammates to put some ice on her ankle. A cutter here right in front, trying to knock that loose and free, was number 8. For Chisago Lakes. Getting some more players in. head coach Eaton for Chisago Lakes. Number 3 comes off, and now back the other way on the transition. Brunner had an opportunity, just couldn't quite flag it down. She made a swat and may have unintentionally hit the goalie. Senior Brunner. Some injuries also that have been dampened it this year. She's going to get a yellow card, I guess. Do you see that thing on her? Like that's Bree Brunner, an ACL injury earlier this year. And tonight's her first time, senior year, to step on that field. They've had some other injuries as well as Anoka. That includes to a junior captain, Kendall St. Hilaire. She's out also with an ACL tear. That was after the second game. She was one of their top defenders. Chisago Lakes has been fortunate to be without injuries. Here's a fast burst move coming in there for the Wildcats, and now we get a whistle. Another 8-meter. Let's get set here. What will transpire? 7 minutes, 5 seconds is remaining as everyone's set. Looks like an 8-meter penalty shot moving in over the top, trying to hit a cutter on the backside. Good idea, but unable to capitalize, but they do hold possession. Cutter out in front. The Wildcats opened up their largest lead of the game now at 10-5. Olsen. Smith cutting there, but now the whistle of foul. That's Sarah Smith. Getting things organized, and after the whistle and the foul called, 6:20 to go. Time continues to run here in the second half. Smith sweeps that one underneath, gets her second goal. That was such a subtle maneuver. She swept that one just below the stick. Kicker Olsen, and that will be the second goal of the game for Smith. Sarah Smith picks up her 26th goal of the season. Her second of the night. She's averaging almost 4 points a game, 3.89. Set here for the face-off at midfield. And the draw, this is always such a critical part because who can win that possession? And it looks like it will. No, wow. Knocked off a cross of that stick and back now in possession of the Wildcats. Nelson has it. Or excuse me, Peterson. Peterson with 3 goals tonight. Takes it down the near side. That's a cross. Good crisp passing inside. Low shot in the goal. Boy, that was some great crisp execution of quality passing that time. And the Wildcats tally their 12th goal here tonight. Opened up now a 7-goal lead over Anoka. But I'll tell you, 3 quick passes, clean, crisp passes. And I think they're going to give that to Senni at the end. If so, that's Senni's second goal of this game. What a burst speed coming here from Anoka just as they move inside. The 14, excuse me. Kicking it back and now looking in front. Meyer takes a shot and a glove save, or a stick net save, shall we say, by Carlson. And Myers takes a hard fall to Sydney. She really had some get up and go as she made the cut inside and unleashed a beautiful shot, but even a better save made there by Carlson. Well, we mentioned Chisago Lakes had been averaging 13 goals a game. And it will be an 8-meter penalty shot here from Meyer. She takes the shot and had a little too much velo on that, and then missed the net altogether. That was a shot and an attempt with some conviction, as you could tell, the fire and the competitiveness in Sydney Meyer there. Fakes left, goes to the right. With the senior. Meyer looks again, and it's dropped off there. Moving it down now. And here's Chisago Lakes digging at that ground ball, trying to get possession. A whistle's going to award that ball to Anoka. And let's see what Anoka can get moving here. Build some momentum. You want to get that flow going here before the end of the season. Playoffs, teams kind of play at a different level. Sometimes kind of a different approach, and anything can happen in those section playoffs. A long lead pass, just missing at that time. It's number 10 for the Wildcats. He went right by it. Paquette picks up the loose change and works it down. Good speed, good burst. She's been involved. A beautiful assist in the first half and a goal to Layla. Her first goal of this half. Alm has it now to the side. Tony Alm was also supposed to be here, but ended up leaving early for the Costa Rica national hockey team tourney that's going on here in the U.S. And Layla will join Tony there tomorrow. So right after the game tonight, I believe is when she'll fly out. Cutting, Layla, shot just wide of the mark. I thought that was going to be the cue as we had set her up on her flight departure and a chance to play in that Costa Rica national hockey team. Just under 3 remaining. It's a 7-goal lead for the Wildcats at 12-5. It's senior night here at Goodrich Field, and the Tornadoes had a nice little celebration, and you could hear a couple of them say, gosh, it goes fast. It goes by so fast, and this season has gone fast. Just as I mentioned, 2 games remaining after tonight in the regular season for the Tornadoes. Out wide, a little give and go and exchange there on around the perimeter. Kind of a mini weave. Now in the X position, Sydney Meyer calls the positions up. Looks for a cutter. She comes from the side of the net. There's a cutter happening off. The move just missed there was a Yelly. Meyer comes back out again, Sydney Meyer, and puts it to Paquette. Paquette, kind of an isolation play in the near. Dropped it there to number 27, Abby Moore. Abby Moore's got some speed, some burst, a shot, and a goal, a 3rd goal of the game. As Layla Alm picks up the loose change on the ground ball. That's her 20th goal of the season as she leads the squad with 20 goals. But all started here by this freshman, Abby Moore. She's been fun to watch. She has some great burst speed, some quickness. Head coach Ellie says, hey, she's turning into a beast on the lacrosse field, and we saw it there. So still some fight for these Tornadoes. Layla collects her 3rd goal of the game, 20th of the season, the assist. Issue to Abby Moore. Alm wins the draw, and you can just see the explosive speed she has getting down the field. Just misses on a pass attempt, but back will come a chance. Oh, another wonderful, just an outstanding steal. We have seen that time and time again from number 10, and that's McKenna Olsen. That's her 4th steal, and that was with 1 stick that time, and Jensen was trying to center it out front to a teammate. Olsen has a long reach and has utilized it in some great anticipatory skills as well. We are approaching a minute remaining, kind of a plop fast there. Plopped it in the air to the teammates. And right now, the Wildcats look to be content working it around the perimeter. Averaging 13 goals a game. They're at 12 right now. Down low, deflected, and kicker Olsen picks up the deflection and has control. Looks for the outlet. Sets it up, unable to control, and the Wildcats chasing Anoka back into that X position. Now it's back to Olsen, the senior goalie. Looking upfield, trying to find an outlet, someone to hit. 15 seconds remaining. And she's going to make one long outlet pass there, trying to hit Layla Alm. Alm with her speed and finding it's controlled on the ground by the Wildcats. And this is going to move the Wildcats to a record of 9-1 on the season. The lone loss has come to Centennial this season for Chisago Lakes, and they will take home a 12-6 win, coming up with 9 goals in the second half. And a series of a couple of three goals unmatched, 3 unanswered goals runs. One was countered with a goal by Anoka, but not enough. Meanwhile, for Anoka on the loss tonight, they will move to 2-8 as they get ready for the next game on Monday versus Maple Grove and wrap up their season in Elk River on Wednesday the 25th. Thanks for joining us on this QCTV Friday Night Lights here from the Goodrich Field, home of the Tornadoes. Joe Rulin, along with Andy and Noel and Ryan and Mike back of the studio. Thanks for joining us. It's a win for Chisago Lakes in women's high school lacrosse. Difference of 12-6. Thanks for joining us. Have a major league evening at a minor league price.